Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the finals of FNM here at Nerd Rage Gaming Live. I'm your host, Andrew Donnelly. With me, as always, my co-host, Matthew Robert Dow. Matt, what do we got for finals here? We've got Chris Smith, Jeskai Aggro versus Dan Cardenas, Blue-Black Control.
Yeah, we have Chris. He's getting the pair down against Dan here, who's 2-2. We're running it back. We had a couple of our top tables
just straight up draw.
Just straight up draw to go imbibe some adult beverages.
At apparently a very fancy resort. After you win FNM once or twice, you top 8 a SCG regional event. Baby, you're going to the brew house.
Yeah, we're going to Rosemont to drink.
Yeah, they love it up there, man. They're about that life.
They're about driving 40 minutes to drink some overpriced beers.
Definitely.
I ain't about that life. I'm going to go home and sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm old.
We got to do something.
Do you want to come to my bed and sleep with me?
I don't know about that. Is there overpriced beer there?
There could be. I could buy like a 12er and you could just pay me for it.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll hang out.
Beer.
Drink some natty ice.
Champagne of beers.
So they're deciding who's going first here. It looks like a rock lobster and a paper tiger. It's going to be Dan Cardenas on the play.
Rock doesn't just rip right through paper?
I don't believe it does.
What is this game? Who invented it?
I don't know. I know the Japanese have an interesting way of playing it.
Does rock beat everything?
No, but if I remember correctly, you have to go through a lot more steps. Essentially, every game is on 3 for them.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, this is a Nerd Rage Gaming Live after dark.
Nerd Rage Gaming After Dark. NRG Live After Dark. Not too racy, though.
Dan Cardenas, still feeling the effects of dropping the heroic deck, is going to mulligan for the 5th time on camera.
After stumbling there, dropping some weight, trying to find something that fills the void in his heart.
He's going to keep this hand, I imagine, though. He has 3 lands and 3 spells. Going to play a Temple to the Steed on turn 1 and ship it back to Chris. Chris going to play a Temple of Triumph. This guy. Chris got some Ugin sleeves, it looks like.
He does. Some Ultra Pro Ugin sleeves.
Dang. Those must cost like $3 and be terrible.
I will tell you, when I played Miracles down in St. Louis Open, I used Ultra Pro Jace Architect of Thought sleeves.
They all ripped by the end of the event.
After the end of the event, I promptly unsleeved my deck. They were good for the event. I even got compliments. People were like, those are cool. I was like, thanks. Then I didn't do anything with them.
So Dan going to play an Ashiok after Chris plays a Secret of the Way. Chris going to remind Dan that he needs to fetch a land to cast
the Ashiok?
Cast a Ashiok, because the Polluted Delta does not currently tap for mana. And he's going to pass back to Chris after milling with Ashiok. Ooh, gets a good one. Mantis Rider's pretty good.
I like that.
Fortunately, I don't think he's ever going to get to use it, since I can't imagine Ashiok is going to stick around at a loyalty high enough to be able to cast that Mantis Rider, or put that one into play. So Dan's going to pass back. A Mantis Rider from Chris would be pretty good here. Rattlemaster is pretty good here also. I think he's got one of those too. But Chris is just going to kill this Ashiok, it looks like, with a Lightning Strike. Which is, I think, a fine play. Probably taking that turn, though, to cast a Rattlemaster, personally.
I'll go up to the 23 here after the lifelink.
We've apparently lost our spotter.
Yep, that's alright.
It's a shame. And gonna play a Swamp and pass back with Dissolve Man out. Chris, sure enough, broken Ultra Pro sleeve.
Broken Ultra Pro.
Had to change one out. Probably wishing that he spent the extra couple of bucks on some KMCs or some Dragon Shields.
KMCs.
No,
Dragon Shields.
Dragon Shields, the turquoise ones, man, are just so nice. They didn't even make black ones in that one, though.
Twitch chat, settle it for us. KMCs or Dragon Shields?
KMCs are so bad.
Oh my god. Oh, well, if I have 12-year-old dexterity like somebody here, I'd use Dragon Shields. Just saw my hand up.
Gonna bash in with the Secret Away. Put him to 19. Dan gonna... Chris is, I think, gonna pass back.
The control decks are just so new for Dan. I mean, it's kind of interesting to watch him play.
Chris gonna run another threat out here. Just plays into Dan's Crux of Fate that he has in his hand. Dan gonna let that resolve. Gonna draw a Polluted Delta, I believe, or a Dismal Backwater. Dismal Backwater.
Sure. Gonna go up to 20. Thank you. Look at this. KMC, KMC.
2-1. Dang. Well, we get more people to chime in here. I think we're going to wind up on Dragon Shields.
No,
KFC Shields.
KFC shields, my God. Those sound delicious.
Or are they shielding you from KFC?
I hope not. I want to get my popcorn chicken bucket.
Man, those popcorn chicken is delicious.
It's so good.
Such a great invention.
I don't know who made that. I was dying for some earlier.
I just want to go, like, B-dubs and get some, like, boneless chicken wings. So Chris is going to play a Temple of Triumph.
Are we playing, man? Like, what is Alright, hold on. Temple of Triumph. Scry. To the bottom
Right,
or
bash
top?
in. He kept it on top.
Okay.
Gonna attack for 4.
Tagging for
Dan probably just going to be like, cool, dude, I'm at 16. Chris is going to go to 25.
Chris is up to 25. God, that Soulfire Grandmaster.
I wouldn't say this is his best matchup.
I don't think it's his best matchup. I think that card is good, though.
Alright, Dan, here we go. I think this is the perfect time to cast Crux of Fate. Get that 2 for 1. There we go.
Yeah, nice play.
Great play.
Don't look at Twitch shit.
Here we go. Dragon Shields, making a comeback. Double sleever you can leave. Didn't know there was a rhyme that went along with that, but I'll take it.
I like that, though. I like the double sleever you can leave.
I don't know. I don't double sleeve my my $40 standard deck. I like to give that one a good riffle. There's this Stormbreath Dragon off the top. So, unfortunately, Dan is going to struggle, I think, to kill that card. Chris is going to fetch, though, before land. So he might be taking this opportunity to cast a Dig Through Time here.
That'd be kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Nerd Rage Gaming is located in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. That's a suburb of Chicago. So we're, you know, a central Midwest hub here. Shipping cards out across the U.S. Sometimes across seas. I don't know.
Dang, that must be cost you a lot of shipping.
Boy, it is dangerous. There's the Stormbreath Dragon.
Interesting that he would fetch before doing that. So Dan gonna draw another lane. Doesn't have an answer for this Stormbreath Dragon though. Just has these dissolves in hand, I believe. Gonna order his mana. Maybe he does have a downfall. I don't think so though. Nope, just 2 dissolves and a Dig Through Time. So Chris is gonna draw for turn. He's going to scry with his Temple of Triumph. So now he has 7 lands for the Stormbreath Dragon. Just going to get in there and hit Dan down to 8. Nothing really good for Dan to do here. So he's just going to exile. I don't know what Dan's looking to get with 2 mana here. The fact that he's doing it on Chris's main phase is kind of, or like in his attack step is kind of weird. Like Bioblite's not good, but like a lot of those cards are pretty good.
Yeah, what do you
Downfall's
find?
pretty good.
Ugin in there?
Ugin's, I didn't think Ugin's pretty good, but he's got like 2 downfalls. I'd probably just like take both the downfalls or a Crux of Fate.
Sure.
I'd probably take the Crux. So wait, no, I'd probably take a downfall. I can't imagine Chris is gonna run a Rebel Master out here post combat. Dan took 2 downfalls. Chris plays a Rebel Master here though. It's kind of a problem for Dan. He's gonna have to spend those 2 downfalls on this Rebel Master. No, Chris can play the Rebel Master and then also cast Stoke the Flames. So that could be his line. He's in the tank though.
I mean, I can't imagine he's betting, putting all of his eggs in one basket here with this Stormbreath.
He's gonna tap 5. He's gonna Dig Through Time. So I think Dan's probably fine with that. Look at 7, draw 2. That's what Chris finds here. Lightning Strike, another Rabble Master, another Stormbreath Dragon. So.
Are you looking for something just hasty here, or are you going to try to take the direct damage approach?
Either or. Stormbreath Dragon is essentially like a hasty threat.
Yeah.
If it's like between Stormbreath Dragon and like Dissolve, probably just. Or like Stormbreath Dragon or Stoke the Flames, that's a tough one.
think Dan just almost pulled an old school impulse there and tried to shuffle his deck after Chris put the cards on the bottom.
So Dan's going to dissolve this dragon. Now he's going to be able to sit behind dissolve, which could be a problem for Chris. Although Chris is going to be able to line up 2 spells here next turn. Well, if he plays dragon, he can't. So, but he can lightning strike Dan here down to 5. So I imagine this is what he's going to do.
Yep.
Sure enough. I think if you were Dan, you'd...
Dan's down to 7 after the lightning strike.
Okay.
You had the fountain.
Oh yeah, thank you. Fountain pretty good.
Yeah. It's not bad. Keeps you in the game.
It's a wild slash though. So not pretty bad. So you can like dragon here, you can Rabble Master. Probably just jam the Rabble Master. I'm jamming Rabbles.
Are you? You're just dropping the Rabble Master?
Mm-hmm.
Dropping the baby Rabs?
Because you can stoke too then.
Sure.
So like this play we don't get to do anything.
Our dragon gets eaten. We have a wild slash.
Might have I don't know. There's the question there of is it better to downfall there or is it better to dissolve?
You might want to keep the dissolve up knowing your opponent is playing
playing
a pretty high amount of burn. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So here we'll see the wild slash drop down
to 5?
Yeah, down to 5.
So still alive. And like here's the other issue. Now we have like Dan's gonna dissolve wild slash?
No.
You did.
Okay, so he dissolves wild slash. That seems that I don't like.
No, you just take that.
It's not
5. You're not gonna fight over the 2 mana burn spells. So
it's kind of a dangerous line.
We'll see what Chris is gonna line up here. I think it's gonna be a Rabble Master, which you just let resolve, I believe. And then well you can't counter it now. He spent his dissolve. So go to combat.
Does he have another hero's downfall? Kill it.
Yep. So Chris has Seeker of the Way and a Stoke the Flames. So now we can like cast this Seeker. Yeah. Cast the Seeker. Yep.
Next turn we've got Seeker attack plus Stoke. That
Yep.
seems okay.
Dan draws another dissolve. Yeah. So fighting over that wild slash is coming back to haunt Dan. Right, I think Dan would be in a great position right now if he didn't fight over that wild slash.
That was weird.
The Seeker would have gotten dissolved too.
Yeah.
So
it was just kind of a strange line from Dan.
Yeah, he would have been able to dissolve the Seeker, kill the Rabble Master, and then still have Disdainful Stroke up. So
what does he have in hand? In a gate?
He has 2 counter spells.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're...
So he's at 5. Looks like Chris is probably going to fire off this Stoke the Flames. Which, now the question here is, like, do we dissolve it to scry, or do we Disdainful Stroke it? He's going to Disdainful Stroke it. I think that's probably the best line, because you just line that up the best. Take 2, puts you to 5, so... Or take 4, put him... Still on a 3-turn... Well, I guess he's on a 4-turn clock. No, on a 3-turn clock. Just going to scry.
I think I'm okay there, actually, with the Disdainful Stroke over the dissolve.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct.
Though, then again, we also just drew dead, so...
Yeah, well, he's still alive. He's got another turn after this one. Chris cannot kill us on this turn.
Unless this is...
Literally nothing. No, we have dissolve.
Yeah, there it is.
So... Dig through time would be good here.
Oh, he's going to keep it on top.
I mean, would you keep Radiant Fountain there?
No.
No, me neither.
I would not.
Would you keep Jace's Ingenuity? I would. Yeah,
I believe I would keep that there.
Yeah.
And I think Dan is right to not cast it right then either. I think you wait to see.
No, I think Dan is wrong to not cast it there.
Really?
Yeah, what if we draw Radiant Fountain?
Oh, that's interesting.
Or a Dismal Backwater.
Okay, so you're... Yeah, alright.
Dan should have cast it there. Or like, what if he draws a Disdainful Stroke here?
He drew a Bile Blight and an
Ashiok.
Ashiok. So he's gonna Bile Blight, targeting that. Chris says, I'm gonna lightning strike you. Or... Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works too.
That does work.
But does that kill Dan?
No, it puts him to 1.
It does not. It puts him at 1. Wow. And Chris will gain 1.
Correct.
Going up to 28.
Yep. So, Abzan advantage. Being +2/+2.
That Abzan advantage power.
There's an Evolving Wild, so Dan probably going to die here. Ashiok, unless he has Temporal Trespass to take an extra turn after this one.
That'd be sweet.
But even then...
And we've only gotten a Rabble Master.
Yeah. Just gonna untap, and I assume kill Dan. Sure enough.
What? Nah, there we go. Alright, so Chris is going to take game 1 there after a surprisingly long game 1. Chris kind of sputtered out there at the end.
Yeah, and had Dan not counter that Wild Slash, he probably would have won that game.
I mean, it's very, like we said before, Dan not being used to the control matches, it's interesting to watch what he decides to counterspell. You know what I mean? Or what he decides is worthy of a counterspell, worthy of a hero's downfall, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So sideboard us up. What do we got for Chris Smith playing that Jeskai aggro?
He's got a Valorous Stance, a Glare of Heresy, 2 Brimaz, 3 Disdainful Strokes, 2 Negates, 1 Outpost Siege, 2 Anger of the Gods, 1 End Hostilities, and 2 Elspeths. Gonna probably bring in Brimaz, Disdainful Stroke, Negate, Outpost Siege, Elspeth, and potentially Valorous Stance.
Gotcha.
So, Valorous Stance I think has uses, protects your guys from Crux of Fate, plus it, in this case, would be able to kill Dan's Jurabai Murklurkers,
Sure.
which he has 2 of in his sideboard, along with 2 Thoughtseize, 1 Nullify, 1 Slur the Believers, or Silence the Believers.
The Slurbulbs?
Yeah.
I love that card.
1 Ugin, 2 Disdainful Strokes, 3 Negates, and 3 Drown in Sorrows.
Sure.
So I think Drown in Sorrows are coming in this game. I'll probably bring in a Silence the Believers since I saw Stormbreath Dragon.
Did we ever decide if
Two
the
Thoughtseizes.
Jurabai Murklurkers were good in this matchup?
Yeah, I'm bringing those in too.
Yeah, I think they're alright.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's like a question, probably bring in some Disdainful Strokes. But as in like where the tokens deck downfalls were actively bad,
Yeah,
downfall is actually pretty good in this matchup.
I agree with that, yeah.
Not 100% sure what I'd board out.
It's tough. You
But,
could probably remove
yeah.
some of your draw. Like if you're playing the divinations and stuff.
Yeah, probably. I agree with that. Just too slow. So
If you're talking about the post game, looking at Twitch chat here, if you're talking about the game we just watched, Chris Smith does play, I think, a number of Abzan Advantages main board.
he's playing 1, I think. I think he's playing Martin Uses list from GP Seville, where Martin was playing 1 main deck.
Sure. So if that's what you're talking about, if you're talking about who has the advantage deck wise, if Dan plays intelligently, I believe his deck is slightly better.
Dan should have won that game, I think.
Yeah, I can
Or at
agree
least
with
been
that.
the game would have lasted a lot longer because that secret would not have resolved. He would have just taken 2 damage from a Wild Slash.
Your blue-black control list is generally playing cards that are just, and I think we touched on this earlier in the rounds. You're just playing more high-powered cards. You know what I mean? Like your cards are just usually 1-for-1 better than the cards that your opponent is playing in the aggro list, and
I think
that goes for most control games.
I think you have a better game 1 than you do post-board games, so I actually think Chris is probably favored here.
Really? So you would take
Yeah.
Chris over?
I would take
over Dan?
Chris over Dan
Interesting.
if both players were of equal skill
Yeah,
at piloting their respective decks.
Sure. I think the thing here that we see is that Dan is new to the control decks.
Yes.
We've stated it before when he was on camera. This is not his style of deck. This is not what he is known for playing. So it's very interesting to watch him play it. I mean, he's a huge regular around the shop, a big grinder for a lot of the NRG tournaments, and he's generally an aggro player to mid-range player. He is not known for playing control. But watching how the formats have shaped up, he decided that he'd give it a shot. So I think if I was looking at, Noah Cohen versus Chris Smith here, I think Noah would definitely have an advantage in the blue-black list. I think the list is really strong.
I like the Jeskai deck.
I mean, the Jeskai deck's good. Don't get me wrong.
Deck I contemplate on playing. Dang it, a mulligan for the 6th time on camera.
Good Lord. And I wonder if he's mulliganing because he doesn't like the cards he has in his hand, or if he's doing it out of fear that he isn't drawing the quote-unquote perfect hand. You know what I mean?
He should have mulliganed that hand. It was a mulligan to 6 anyways. He had Pearl Lake Ancient in his opening hand, which is just, ugh.
Sure.
It's garbage. I don't want that. No, look, he drew it again because he doesn't shuffle.
And he's mulling one more time.
7. Make it perfect 7, baby.
See how many
Lucky
we can
7.
get there. Fire off the mulligans, Dan. What if he just draws a stellar opening hand after this? Just like the best,
He
best
did.
6.
I mean, in like the other games we saw him on camera, he did draw like a pretty decent 5.
Yeah, very true.
So, like, this one has lands and Disdainful Stroke and an Ashiok, so it's not bad. He's going to play a Dismal Backwater and gain 1 life.
He's getting that life. You know what? I used to joke about Radiant Fountain. I always thought that card was kind of stupid. This card's not bad.
You're stupid.
I speak French.
Yeah, sure you do.
This one.
There's a Polluted Delta. Chris gonna put a Temple of Triumph into play off the top of his deck. They ain't gonna draw a Swamp for the turn. I imagine going to fetch and cast an Ashiok, which is a card I don't particularly like in this matchup. So, it's just a card I don't particularly like.
I don't think it's the best card. I don't think it's the worst card. I just don't think you like Ashiok in general.
I don't know. I don't particularly care for Ashiok.
Yeah.
I do like Ashiok when the metagame is all giant green creature decks.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
then I love that card.
What did Ashiok hit, though, is the question.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Chris has Mantis Rider in his hand.
Sure.
So.
To pursue the Ashiok?
Yep.
I'm going to attack it, probably. Or it's
I
going to go to the dome.
I imagine I just attack Ashiok.
Really? What does it do?
Well, it depends. Like, it's going to, yeah, like,
okay.
potentially cast some cards.
Sure.
Get up high enough where I have to do something.
I feel like, though, that's...
It's like, it's fine here because it's just like a fog.
Yeah.
But it's still not great. We did hit a Brimaz, though, I think. Brimaz is a card I like. Fortunately, our Ashiok will be dead after next turn. Chris, I think, doesn't have his 4th land drop.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah, a little bit. But Dan doesn't have his 5th. No, there's his 4th. Alright. The question is, do we run Outpost Siege out here? I think he has that in hand. A couple of Stokes, too.
I think the Outpost Siege is a safe bet. Why would you not want to cast it? I guess you could Stoke Ashiok and then now get a Dan's life total. But I feel like the Outpost Siege is kind of a must-answer card.
Oh, for sure. But Dan has Disdainful Stroke in hand. Just like Outpost Siege is so good in this matchup.
It is. It's very good.
So good. So I don't like trying to
force it.
Yeah. And I'm not 100% sure he has it, but Dan just needs to let this resolve. All right. Dan chooses not to. He's gonna fight over it.
We don't know where it was. Was it targeting him or targeting Ash?
No, I'm sure. Well, I think it's like target you, and then once it resolves,
you
redirect.
you redirect.
So
sure, I understand. Believe me,
yeah.
you get the Planeswalker ruling, but this Ashiok now is just living forever.
Yeah, but Dan has a downfall, so he'll be able to kill this Mantis Rider. The problem is, like, Chris has, like, Stormbreath Dragon. I don't know.
I mean, but does he have it in hand?
He does.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just kill Ashiok here. If, like, Dan tries to downfall, you just resolve Outpost Siege.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I think he has Outpost Siege.
You're like, I'll take advantage now. Thank you.
So maybe he doesn't.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. So he's going to waste a Stoke 2 on Ashiok? Wow. He really wants that thing dead.
Yeah, so I think that's Outpost Siege. Right? That's Outpost Siege. For sure. I just slammed that card.
Yeah.
He can't beat that card.
It's very hard to beat. I mean, granted, it's...
Dan literally doesn't have Perilous Vault in this deck, I don't think, so he literally can't beat that card.
Oh, he does?
He can't get rid of it.
I thought he just copied the Noah Cohen list.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
No. Outpost Siege is so hard for him to beat. He's just going to pass back.
He's got Jace's Ingenuity in hand.
Yep. So
which he can cast at the end of turn here?
He can.
18. There's a Jace, so that's okay. 1, 2, 3.
Didn't really hit all that good stuff. Ugin does get rid of it, but Ugin costs 8.
Correct.
So it's not. I don't count it. It's not counted. Thank you, though. You are correct.
That's true. Ugin does get rid of it. Interesting.
But I haven't seen any Ugins out of Dan's deck either. I don't know if he's...
I don't know if
he
he's
has one in the sideboard.
Okay, so he had the potential to bring in the Ugin.
Yeah, but I wouldn't bring Ugin in this matchup.
Ashiok does put out Brimaz. There's a Crux of Fate choosing Dragons. Snapping it off.
Man, if I played that card on Moto and I chose the wrong, like...
Mode,
I'd
be furious. I've wasted so much mana on Moto, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, just accidentally put mana in my mana pool.
Priority.
Oh, it's awful. It's the worst. Especially when you have stuff to do, and you're like, oh, And then you like type to tell the other person. They're like, wait, and you're like, yeah, you got me.
What do you expect your opponent to just pass back to you? Like just like I don't know. Like what are you supposed to do in that?
I expect them to quit. Does he have Perilous Vault in hand? Did we miss that?
Oh, he does. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't have Dan's deck list in front of me. I just haven't seen any in the 4 games now that he's played.
Yeah. To be fair, we haven't seen a lot out of Dan's decks.
Thank you. So Dan does have Perilous Vault. Yeah, there's an awkward one to reveal off Outpost Siege. So Dan does have outs. Outpost Siege not the greatest as great a card I thought it was, but still pretty good.
Why is it not good?
No, it's still pretty good. It's just not the unbeatable card advantage engine that I thought it was.
I mean,
I didn't think Dan had any enchantment removal
Yeah,
outside of maybe an 8-drop in his deck.
I mean, it's still a really good card.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We didn't know if Dan was playing the exact list that Noah was playing earlier, I think is the thing. We have their sideboards, we don't have their actual deck lists. So there's a dig. It's pretty good for Chris. You can find some gas. Let's see what he finds. Outpost Siege.
Outpost Siege.
Was that a Burmaz? Oh, there you go. And another negate. Is that an Elspeth? Ooh, that's spicy. I don't know here. What do you do? Do you take the Elspeth Burmaz, or do you want to get an additional counter
spell? Take
spell?
an Elspeth and the Outpost Siege.
An Elspeth and an Outpost Siege?
Yeah.
You have to commit one of them to the board before Dan fires off the vault, I assume?
I don't think so.
No?
I think you can just sit here. Chris is going to take negate instead of the Elspeth. But I think you can just sit here with this, because this is just so many cards.
There you go. Chris has got it. It's a lot of cards. I mean, now he's got a chuck full hand again. Dan drawing a Cruxifate off the top. Gonna mull over what he wants to do. Does Zan also have a dig through time?
He does, yeah.
Well,
Dig through time and a Pearl Lake Ancient. So, Pearl Lake Ancient is potentially a problem for Chris here, since it's kind of hard for him to race. But so I'm gonna draw a Seeker. So there's a free card. Imagine I'm gonna cast a Seeker. And this might force Dan to blow up the Perilous Vault.
Interesting.
Okay, I mean, but you don't even get a 2-for-1 because Chris just drew that card for free. I think he might actually just cast Dig Through Time here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fire it off.
Cast it for the full boat.
I like that card, man.
I don't know what we're casting on end step. If we draw it.
It's gonna get negated. That's pretty sweet. Chris making sure to wait until his opponent delves fully to show the negate, which is something that you learn after playing Legacy once or twice and having to deal with Tomb Stalkers. Card's ridiculous.
So Dan gonna play Dismal Backwater and go up to 19.
Boy, life total's kind of just flopping here.
Yeah. Not too much action going on, but Chris is generating 2 cards a turn. Essentially, provided he doesn't draw a counter spell. And now he's got the Seeker of the way that he can bash in.
Boom.
There's like a consideration to just like downfall here or to crack this. I'd probably just crack or do nothing. Doing nothing isn't awful.
I don't think
the Outpost Siege is just generating so much advantage.
It is. That's the problem.
Look, another
there.
free land.
Like, you're getting so many cards off this Outpost Siege. I think the thing is I'd like to wait until my opponent tries to dump spells into the Seeker and then pop the Vault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but your opponent's not doing anything. But I mean, it's fine because Dan has Pearl Lake Ancient here, so he can like flash block.
And that card is just unanswerable at this point, I assume, right?
No, because Chris can target it with Stoke the Flames, and then Dan's just like, it's like trade my Seeker plus a Stoke the Flames for your Pearl Lake Ancient or bounce it.
And what is Dan worried about here? Like, why is he not flash blocking? I guess that's what I'm confused about.
I would have I think there's like an argument to be made for like just flashing it at end of turn. I think you could probably potentially race said Seeker.
I agree. Oh, I
Chris
totally
is on
agree
a 4-turn clock. If he's just gonna sit here and like, poke me with a 2/2 and I'm at 15.
Unfortunately, I think this this kind of lends itself to the fact that Dan is not used to using cards like Seeker the way. Dan was not an Aetherling player, so he isn't familiar with the ways to kind of effectively use these bouncing blue creatures, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they do require some finesse to use, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there are definitely games that you can just win by, like, playing the guy and then just racing your opponent.
I mean, he does a ton of damage. Prolake Agent's not a joke, like... well, see, now we've got...
That card's terrible.
Yeah.
That's when I'm fine. Well, it's not awful now.
But now there's a
he
Rabble
drew a
Master.
Rabble Master, so
Yeah.
like now he has Valor Stance that he can cast to protect the Rabble Master.
Definitely.
So now I might crack this vault.
I think you fire it off here.
Although, yeah, now I crack this vault.
Interesting to note, does Chris, and this is a question for judges, I guess, out there, unless you know this, if he cracks the vault here, does Chris still have access to the Valor Stance for the rest of the turn?
I think so. I don't know.
I would think so, too.
I would think so.
Because I think it is a state-based effect requiring a time, which then creates its own layer, but...
I think the chat will know.
The chat would know.
For sure.
Our chat's smart. These guys know what's up.
Smarter than I am.
I mean, they're probably better at Magic than we are, too.
Oh, definitely. That's not hard. Dan chooses not to crack his vault, just going to take a damage.
How many times?
Showing some pretty incredible patience here with this Perilous Vault. I would have cracked this thing a long time ago. But I don't like when my opponents draw more cards than I do.
Yeah, I don't...
No, I meant in terms of, like... So, if the Outpost Siege is removed, but you have a card in exile, do you still get to cast it?
Correct.
But the Outpost Siege is now exiled. So, another Goblin. Alright, Dan. When are we gonna Perilous Vault? Now we're gonna do it. Here we go. Finally.
Is he doing it?
He is.
Is he casting something?
He is going to crack the Perilous Vault.
There we go. Outpost Siege. Get out of here. Nobody likes you.
Chris says, I got another one.
Which if you're Dan, or you're just like, fine, play it.
No, if I'm Dan, I'm going to rage.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of neither here nor there. The waiting until Rabble Master can attack and then popping it is a good play. Like, you should have popped it the first time Rabble Master made a token. Like, there's nothing to save the Rabble Master.
Chris is going to play his other Outpost Siege and pass back.
When are we going to cast the Pearl Lake Agent?
Never.
Just play it! How is it even affecting him negatively at this point? It isn't. It isn't affecting him negatively.
Disdainful Stroke. That doesn't
count.
Pearl
That's
Lake
not
Agent.
good.
I think Dan's like hesitant because he has his Crux of Fate in his hand, and he doesn't want to like cast the Crux with
But
the
we
Pearl
could
Lake
be.
Agent
We
on.
have Radiant Fountains. We could just be bouncing Radiant Fountains and gaining life while our opponent's not doing anything.
Well, we lose our 6/7 when we do that. Unfortunately, you just can't bounce them willy-nilly. You have to bounce your guy.
I just bounce willy-nilly.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, man. I had Aetherling. He bounced every time I wanted him. He was going
didn't
everywhere.
bounce lands, though.
No, he didn't. He was good. That's a Storm Breath, though.
That is a Stormbound Dragon. I think we have to cast Jesus Ingenuity here.
Yeah.
Dan, always looks like he's going to scoop his cards
Yeah,
out.
what is
Instead,
he...
he's going to count his lands. Apparently, he can't do that when they are in a row.
It's kind of hard. It's like counting ducks.
Ducks in a row.
Bingo. He gets it. Fire off the Jason's Ingenuity. He's not going to counter it. Or maybe he will, and then you'll be able to resolve a Pearl Lake Agent later. Oh, but see, this is dangerous.
There's a Mana Strider. Alright. Now we're talking.
This is a good play from Chris, too, because sans Crux of Fate here, now Dan has to pick. You know what I mean? If he says non-dragons to get rid of the Mana Strider, that's fine. My Storm Breath lives. If he says dragons, okay.
Yeah.
Dan down to 5.
Down to 5. I forgot that Crux of Fate didn't just wrath the board. You have to pick one. Stupid dragons. Nobody likes you. Dan, not even going to choose the Jace's Ingenuity. I think he's given up on this one.
Ooh, Pearl Lake is uncounterable.
He is, yeah.
They're right. I forgot. I was worried about the Disdainful
No,
Strokes.
he's uncounterable. The best is when you first play that card and people are like in the blue mirrors and they're like, alright, I'll counter it. And you'd be like, cool, thanks for showing me your counter spell.
Oh!
And if it was like competitive REL, you'd be like, cool, thanks for wasting a counter spell.
And then klaxons go off, like judges of L3 level and higher are behind you, like, very good.
Got him.
You totally got... LSV pops out, he's like, great play. Rich Hagan gives you a trophy afterwards.
That would be sweet.
Gotta be awesome.
I think you have to win the Pro Tour for that.
I would love that. You don't
Win the
even
Pro Tour?
understand. I wouldn't even want to win the. I just want to be there so I could get Rich Hagan's autograph again.
Seems good.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. So Dan's gonna go up to 6 here after the dismal backwater play.
Did he Cruxifate?
He did.
Did he choose
I'm not
non-dragons
sure
or
what he
something like
chose.
that?
I'm not 100% sure what happened, but
Dan's gonna ship it back. I'm pretty sure he's dead on board. Untap,
oh,
draw.
he chose get countered by stroke. That's a sucky mode. That mode sucks. I'll play Cruxifate. Yeah, no, you won't. Ouch. That's brutal.
Yeah, that seems bad. Gonna attack. Dan gonna show him these hands of.
Jace's ingenuity while mana is
Gonna try to
tapped.
hit.
Is this a no? This is the second Noah Koa play we've seen like this, where
Yeah.
like he's what are you gonna do? You're gonna like just I don't know. Oh,
Maybe you could double slaughter pact them.
okay. Well, Chris is gonna take that pretty handedly. Good games. I mean, I'm not faulting Dan here. He definitely played way better than he did earlier in the night. I mean,
That's
at least he
debatable.
was he was thinking about his spells. So Chris Smith gonna take it 2-0 over Dan Cardenas.
Chris Smith after getting second place at an IQ here this past weekend.
Yeah.
With this same Jeskai deck.
That he said he had a pretty good time there, just couldn't quite finish it out in the finals. Yeah,
Lost
he
to
does have the mana to pay for
young
double
Leo
pay.
Casper, I believe.
Leo Casper? Interesting. Very fun. I heard the event was a pretty good event. They capped it, which was a little rough. A smaller in-shop event, right?
Yeah.
But still, IQ is IQ, baby, so
Yeah. It's a
Crush
nice shop.
it.
I like going to the clubhouse.
yeah, good place, good place. Good people.
Yeah.
They got some good players up there. Real
Oh.
good modern player up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like coming here more.